Welcome back, everyone. My name is Patrick. You're watching the Oilers Rundown, broadcast on the Oilers Fanatic and the Heavy Hockey Network. Well, we're less than 48 hours away now from Friday's March 7th trade deadline. The Edmonton Oilers making a couple moves yesterday, bringing in Trent Frederic and Max Jones, along with prospect Peter Hauser to hopefully help in the years to come here, but clearly, Trent Frederic and Max Jones are for the here and now. The Edmonton Oilers have recalled Max Jones from the Bakersfield Condors and have also called up defenseman Cam Dineen once again on an emergency basis. They may have to rest Mattias Ekholm. He's unlikely for tomorrow night's game against Montreal and maybe out on Saturday against Dallas as well, so we'll see what happens there. Max Jones could also enter the lineup for the Edmonton Oilers, and Trent Frederic, he's unfortunately out week to week. The reports we heard yesterday was going to be at least 2 to 3 weeks before we saw Frederic. And obviously, it's really frustrating right now with the rut that the Edmonton Oilers are in, losing 6 of their past 7 games. They really need some energy, some new bodies in that lineup. And Trent Frederic, their newest body, is, like I said, 2 to 3 weeks away from helping them. So he's going to be pretty much close to a Stanley Cup playoff ad for this team. He should be able to get in a couple weeks, you would think, before the Stanley Cup playoffs, but not a ton of games. So the Edmonton Oilers are probably going to have to get it done in-house with what they have. We know they're looking for a left-shot defenseman who can also play on the right side. I know everyone and their uncle wants the Edmonton Oilers to get a goaltender. I'd be in favor of that right now at this point as well, but based on what every insider is saying, it just does not sound like a goaltender is going to happen. Maybe we'll be surprised here. As I've said many times, I don't want Stuart Skinner to go anywhere, but I'd be in favor of getting Stuart Skinner and Calvin Pickard some help. So, like I said, we'll see what happens, but right now, it sounds like if you want a goaltender before Friday's trade deadline, you are likely to be disappointed. So, I'll cover what we get over the next couple days here, but as of now, it's just Trent Frederic, Max Jones, and Peter Hauser. We found out today that the Edmonton Oilers have loaned Matt Savoie back to the Bakersfield Condors. Not a huge surprise, unfortunately. He'll probably be back as a black ace for the Edmonton Oilers for the Stanley Cup playoffs, may even get it back into the lineup depending on what other moves the Oilers do make. He looked great in his first little audition here with the Edmonton Oilers. He helped, but unfortunately the rest of the team is just playing like crap, and he can help Bakersfield certainly in their playoff push in the American Hockey League. So we will see Matt Savoie again. I'm sure he will be a full-time Edmonton Oiler next season, and he'll probably get into some playoff games for the Edmonton Oilers as well. He's been definitely one of the bright spots over this last little stretch here, but for now, Matt Savoie down to Bakersfield. We found out the potential lineup for tomorrow night's game against the Montreal Canadiens. A top line of Nuge, McDavid, and Hyman. A second line of Podkolzin, Draisaitl, and Arvidsson. A third line of Janmark, Henrique, and Brown. A fourth line of Skinner, Kapanen, and Perry. Bouchard, Nurse, Kulak, Stetcher, and Emberson were rotating as 5D according to Jason Greger here. John Klingberg and Mattias Ekholm were not on the ice. Stuart Skinner will be the starter tomorrow for the Oilers against Montreal. Max Jones is probably likely to be added to the lineup tomorrow night. According to head coach Chris Knobloch, Mattias Ekholm is questionable for tomorrow night's game. He's been battling a sickness that he just can't get over here, and I think that's the case with John Klingberg as well. John Klingberg's just had a rough start here with the Edmonton Oilers, no question. It was always going to be an uphill battle with all the time that he's missed, and I just don't think that's really worked out the way anybody really wanted it to. I think the Oilers have only won 3 times since John Klingberg entered the lineup. Not that that's all John Klingberg's fault, of course, but it just doesn't look like it's been a good fit so far, and the Edmonton Oilers still looking for that top 4D to add here. So that's probably what we see over the next couple days from the Edmonton Oilers, but we'll see how they look in their final game here before the trade deadline tomorrow night against the Montreal Canadiens at home. I just hope it's just immensely better than the effort we saw against the Anaheim Ducks last night. That was just an embarrassing hockey game to watch. Full credit to the Anaheim Ducks. They were flying, no pun intended there. They looked amazing, but the Edmonton Oilers were just god-awful, so they need to figure it out here and get going tomorrow night against Montreal. It's an all-Canadian matchup. their last chance to show what they can do here before the trade deadline. Some guys might be playing for their jobs. Who knows? So we'll see what happens here, guys. But right now, I would expect a left shot D that can play the right side as another Oilers ad here before the trade deadline. But as of now, nothing else to report. We will be talking Edmonton Oilers tonight at 9 p.m. Mountain on the Heavy Hockey Network, the Oilers Live podcast. So please join us then. I'll be posting links up on YouTube and on my social media for you guys to come to the podcast at 9. Should be a good trade deadline discussion tonight. So join us in the chat and let's talk some hockey, some Oilers, and the NHL trade deadline. That's all for me for now, guys. Let me know your thoughts on everything in the comment section below. If this is your first visit to the channel and you like what you see, please consider liking and subscribing for all the latest Oilers content. You've been watching the Oilers Fanatic. Thanks for being a fan.